Hey, it's Nay, and welcome to Hey Nay. So, the topic for this episode is attachment and dating. I'm going to jump right into the Hey Nay writers' questions, and then I'm going to talk a little bit on some research. And I'm going to try to do this relatively fast, so I hope I do a good job. Okay. What should you do if you realize that the person you are dating is becoming attached very quickly? Is this necessarily a bad thing? Um, there are things that you can do, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. And I'm going to talk about that when I talk about the research. If you like someone a lot, should you still hold back on showing attachment so you don't risk scaring them away? The way this is phrased, it seems like should you hold back getting close to them or showing affection? You should never hold back that. You should never hold back that. If you're really involved with this person, um, if you're really involved in this person and you like this person, you should show them that you do. You know what I mean? You should never sort of hold back too much. I know a lot of us tend to do that in the very beginning because we don't know where it's going. Um, but if you really, really care for this person, I highly recommend showing that closeness. What should you do if your friend and their significant other are so attached that it's affecting the rest of your social life, friends, family, etc.? So that's what we talk about clingy relationships. And I feel like I've definitely mentioned this before. But um, it's hard if you're the person on the outside because, it feels like you're sort of lost. You're no longer part of their world. And I mentioned this before in a previous episode, but, um, you know, you have to reevaluate too. You have to reevaluate, that friendship or whatever that is with that person because if if this person is so close with their significant other so much that they don't even have time for you, what does that say about that person? I definitely recommend voicing that concern. Um, but if it seems like nothing is really changing, everyone knows that time gets divided. We all know that time gets divided and that you cannot spend as much time with everyone as you always done or always could do, but you have to make that effort. You have to show that you still care. You may not be able to see that person you may not be able to see your friend every day like you always used to do, but you can send them a text occasionally. You can check up on them. So I really don't think that I don't think that's an excuse because you're in a relationship you no longer have time for other people. And um I think if someone is willing to do that, you don't want to be the person who's just waiting in the wings all the time. You know what I mean? You want to be a part of it. You don't want to be the backup. When a friend is only reaching out to you when they've broken up and single now, that's not cool. That's not cool. I'm not sure if that would be considered a real friend. Okay. So the topic of attachment brings up the attachment theory, and I thought it was important that I talk about the attachment theory. So there's several different things. There's several different things to talk about, but I'm gonna highlight a few things. First and foremost, the attachment theory was originally founded by John Bowlby. He's kind of considered the founder of the attachment theory, and um, here are some interesting things to know. So, adult romantic relationships are attachment relationships. We should observe the same kinds of individual differences in adult relationships that are observed in infant caregiver relationships, which is key. How we attach to our significant other, or the type of attachment style that we have, is derivative of our relationship with our primary caregiver growing up. So how that relationship was, so for instance, how that relationship was between me and my mother affects my style in who I'm with as a significant other. Okay. If adult romantic relationships are attachment relationships, then the way adult relationships work should be similar to the way infant caregiver relationships work, which is very similar to what I just said before. But essentially, is that you know that nurturing aspect is still prevalent in your in your romantic relationships. Um, that that compassion, that closeness, that intimacy, that's all still prevalent. The same, and it's pretty much the same thing. It's pretty much almost the same thing. That's why some people always say the phrase. Like a lot of women say this all the time, I'm essentially dating my father because the guy that they're in is pretty much is similar to their father. That's kind of where that comes from. It comes from that attachment style in which the way, especially if it's a healthy way, but the way you're treated, the way you're sort of treated um, and raised from a parental point of view carries over to what you want. This is what you've been receiving for years. So now that you're old enough and you want something serious, you want that too. You want it to continue. You just want it to continue in a different way. Whether an adult is secure or insecure in his or her adult relationships may be a partial reflection of his or her experience with his or her primary giver. Okay, so insecure. So what does that mean? And I didn't want to just go off the dome with that, so I wanted to actually tell you guys what I've found. So according to Dr. Lisa Firestone, secure attachment is when you're more satisfied in your relationships. Children with a secure attachment see their parent as a secure base from which they can venture out and independently explore the world. A secure adult has a similar relationship with their romantic partner, feeling secure and connected while allowing themselves and their partner to move freely. Secure adults offer support when their partner is feeling distress. They also go to their partner for comfort when themselves feel troubled. Their relationships tend to be honest, open, and equal, with both feeling independent yet loving toward each other. Securely attached couples don't tend to engage in an illusion of connection that provides a false sense of safety. It's real. Then you have insecure attachments, and insecure attachments is a little bit broken down. So one is called the anxious, preoccupied, avoidant attachment, and what that essentially means is that people with this type of anxious attachment tend to be desperate to form a fantasy bond. Instead of feeling real love or trust toward their partner, they often feel emotional hunger. When people say they're in love with the idea of love or what this could be, and not actually what it actually is. They're frequently looking to their partner to rescue or complete them. Although they're seeking a sense of safety and security by clinging to their partner, that's where the clinging comes from. Remember that first question? They take actions that push their partner away. Even though anxiously attached individuals act desperate or insecure, more often than not, their behavior exacerbates their own fears. When they feel unsure of their partner's feelings and unsafe in their relationship, they often become clingy, demanding, or possessive toward their partner. They may also interpret independent actions by their partners as affirmation of their fears. For example, if their partner starts socializing more with friends, they may think, see, he or she doesn't really love me. Hence why some people, that goes back to that third question, hence why some people what's the word I'm looking for? Not cut, but cut down ties with their friends because maybe their partner is insecure with them hanging out with other people. These are the things that we need to know. Another attachment style is dismissive avoidant attachment. People with this attachment style have a tendency to emotionally be distant themselves from their partner. They may seek isolation and feel pseudo-independent, taking on the role of parenting themselves. They often come off as focused on themselves and may be overly attending to their creature comforts. Pseudo-independence is an illusion, as every human being needs connection. Nevertheless, people with a dismissive avoidant attachment tend to lead more inward lives, both denying the importance of loved ones and detaching easily from them. They are often psychologically defended and have the ability to shut down emotionally. Even in heated or emotional situations, they are able to turn off their feelings and not react. For example, if their partner is distressed and threatens to leave them, they respond by saying, "I don't care." Come on. I know y'all thinking about these relationships that you possibly have been in or you yourself. So definitely take these styles. Try to figure out which style you are. Here's another one. I think this is the last main one that we'll be talking about. Fearful avoiding attachment. A person with this attachment style lives in an ambivalent state in which they are afraid of being both too close or too distant from others. They attempt to keep their feelings at bay but are unable to. They can't just avoid their anxiety or run away from their feelings. Instead, they are overwhelmed by their reactions and often experience emotional storms. They tend to be mixed up or unpredictable in their moods. They see their relationships from the working model that you need to go towards others to get your needs met. But if you get close to others, they will hurt you. In other words, the person they want to go for safety is the same person that is frightening them. Come on, y'all. This is so good. Oh my gosh. Okay. As a result, they have no organized strategy for getting their needs met by others. And to be in full disclosure, I have experienced attachment style. I actually might still sort of be in it, to be honest. But these are different things to essentially keep in mind because the type of style that we have affects how our relationships move forward. Psychotherapist Amanda Carver, she says that, naturally as adolescents, we push our parents away. And that's a normal thing. And the reason why we push our parents away is because we're starting to form these social relationships with friends and other people to sort of replace that. So hence why adolescents sort of act that way is because now they're ready for someone new to fill that void that their parents had. But she says that, insecure people who have insecure attachment, who develop self-esteem, become clingy. Like I said before, they don't soothe or self-regulate themselves. They're looking for someone else to do that for them. They believe that the world is over. They don't see an argument as an argument. They see every argument as this is potentially over. This is potentially a breakup. Insecure people also put up with things that they shouldn't. So they're more accepting and acquiescent with things that are considerably not good. But she also says that there are different ways in which you can sort of manage these things and work through them. She mentioned Dr. Kristen Neff, who talks about keeping a journal. So if you keep a journal, if you're a person who probably identifies as has an insecure attachment, keep a journal and write down things that you like about yourself or things that you're proud about yourself. Research shows that if you do that for about 7 days straight, it starts to internalize. You start to feel it inside because the attachment styles are malleable. They can change. You don't have to stay. That's not your style forever. You can change, and they call that earned attachment, in which you've earned a different style. And the style that you want to earn, of course, is the secure attachment. You want to be more confident and compassionate within yourself, and then also be able to convey that effectively with others. She also talks about that affirmation and consistency is key. So especially if you have a partner who is sort of, has some sort of insecure attachment, affirming them, being consistent with them, that is key. They rely on that. But helping them through that and sort of voicing these concerns and having this communication can help them change that style, though. It can help them change that style. She also talked about eye gazing. Eye gazing is key. Physical contact. Research shows that if you're touching someone or holding someone for at least 20 seconds, oxytocin releases, which is the love hormone, if you don't know that. And people feel good. People feel good. Even those individuals who say they don't need it. That's why sometimes when people are grieving and going through a rough time, people hug them and touch them because they feel a little bit better. They find that comfort. Their oxytocin release. They feel just somewhat better. She also mentions that establishing these gratitude habits. Those are important as well. It makes you feel better about your lives and make it a part of your routine. So saying thank you, I appreciate that you did this. I like that you did that. Thank you so much for doing that. Because you did that, I wanted to do this for you. More of that on a routine basis makes your partner feel good as well as yourself. And it changes your attachment style to more of a secure attachment style. You have to practice these skills even when you don't need them. We cannot wait until we're in the situation to start trying to deal with it. You cannot wait until you're in the rain to try to find an umbrella. Have the umbrella before you go out into the rain. You get what I'm saying? So you have to be prepared for those different things. A lot of people don't understand that, and I think it's slightly frustrating because I don't understand it. People think that just because they're in a relationship that the work is it. There's no work for relationships. She used the example that our significant other or our relationship is like a plant, and that we have to tend to it, and that the plant has needs. Of course, we can have the plant, and the plant can stand on its own, and things could just keep going, but the plant will die. The relationship will die if you're not tending to it, if you're not watering it, if you're not giving it sun. You have to give it the attention that it deserves. We have to work on our relationships if we want them to continue to be successful. And I feel like this is something that people continuously don't understand. People don't understand. People think that either because they've been in so many relationships that they are more successful in them because they have a past history of them. That is incorrect. People think that because they're in a relationship just for a long period of time that they're just automatically successful. That is incorrect. Your relationship is only as healthy as you treat it, as it actually is. Two people could just sit next to each other all day long, and that doesn't mean a doggone thing. So you have to put the time in, and Amanda Carver also talks about being a gift, choosing yourself as a gift to others. You know what I mean? You want to give someone the best version of yourself. Think of yourself as a gift that you want to share with someone else. So you don't want to give someone a lousy gift. We have to make sure that we ourselves are very self-compassionate and, self-aware, that we're able to give the best version of ourselves to someone else. Well, I know that was a lot of information, but I really wanted you guys to have it. And I know it's a little bit long, but I hope that you are here with me and you stuck it out, because this information is very, very important. The adult attachment theory, infant attachment theory, all these attachment theories are very, very important, and it's very, very key to our growing, and to our development. And any style that you have, it doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. It doesn't mean a bad thing. It just means that we have something to work on. You know where you're at. You understand where you're at, and you have a goal to achieve. So thank you very much. I appreciate it all. Like, share, love, subscribe. And remember to always start your day off with a hey. Goodbye.